Hi everyone, so today I'm here to do my review of The Fault in Our Stars by John Green. So I know I'm practically last on the bandwagon of reading this book, but I've put it off for quite a while because dealing with death and reading about it isn't something that I'm very comfortable with reading about, and since I knew exactly how this book was going to end before I even owned it, it kind of made it even harder for me to go and physically pick up this book and start reading it. But I decided it was about time that I read it because I've seen so many amazing reviews for this book that I was just like, right, come on Samantha, you need to read this book, you need to get it done, get over your fears and just read this book. And I am so glad that I did, because this is such a beautifully written novel that had me laughing, smiling and crying hysterically. So I don't really need to go over what this book's about, do I? Because I think everybody already knows what it's about, because I'm really late in the game reading this. So yeah, I'm not going to bother doing a synopsis, but I will leave the Goodreads link in the description box below if there is anyone who doesn't know what this book's about. So like I said, this was a really hard book for me to pick up because I knew exactly how everything was going to play out at the end, because I read the spoiler that it was in caps and it was very unavoidable because my eyes are drawn towards capital letters. So yes, thank you person who ruined this book for me. But still, it didn't actually ruin it for me. It didn't take away anything throughout my reading, it just ruined how everything was going to end. But still, cancer isn't something I've had experience with like in my immediate family, but there was a boy that I used to hang about with when I was younger. He was diagnosed with cancer and sadly passed away last year, and even though I hadn't spoken to him in years, it was still really sad for me and upsetting that someone I knew had died. But I'm lucky to have never had anyone close to me be diagnosed with cancer. But still, cancer is one of those touchy subjects that I know is going to reduce me to tears, and I cry very easily. So I was very apprehensive about reading this book, but I wish I'd read it sooner, because the characters in this book are beautiful and amazing. The writing was beautiful as well, and I just adored everything about this book. Hazel is such a strong character. She's been diagnosed with terminal cancer, but the medication she's on is prolonging her life, but she knows that it's inevitable that one day she will die. She's never really made any friends because she doesn't want to burden anyone, but that all changes when Augustus enters her life. I really loved Hazel. She was such a strong character, and I loved seeing her begin to love her life again when she met Augustus. Hazel doesn't let her cancer rule her life. She accepts that she's got it, but she gets on with everything, and I really admired her for that. She was so mature at such a young age, and I just adored Hazel so much. Augustus Waters made this book for me. He is one of the most spectacular characters I have ever read about, and John Green wrote him beautifully. The second he made an appearance in this book, he stole my heart. He's just such an amazing, funny, sarcastic, witty, charming, sweet character, and I just adored Augustus. Augustus is a cancer patient in remission, and unfortunately when he had cancer he lost one of his legs, but he doesn't let that stop him living a normal life. And yeah, I just really loved Augustus, although I did find his cigarette habit very strange. I understood why he did it, it was just very strange. Isaac was a fantastic character too. He'd lost one of his eyes to cancer when he was younger, and he recently found out that he was going to lose the other one and become permanently blind. He was a really strong character. He put on the facade of dealing with it well, but underneath he was kind of like breaking apart because he was going to lose his sight, which is extremely understandable, because I mean he's been so used to being able to see, to like have to go to blackness basically would have been absolutely horrible. But I really loved seeing Isaac after all that happened, and seeing him develop, and he actually became accepting of the situation, and I just adored Isaac too. All of the characters in this book were fantastic. Hazel and Augustus's relationship kind of progressed quickly in this book, but both characters have dealt with cancer, so they know that all the time they have is precious and they shouldn't waste it just like messing around with each other. If they're going to get together, they should do it soon and not wait. But I really adored the build up of their relationship, and Augustus getting Hazel to come out of her shell, and yeah, I just adored the two of them together and they were so cute. Since this book is about characters with cancer, you might assume that it's a depressing book, but it's not. It's one of the funniest and wittiest books I've ever read about. The characters were so sarcastic, the amount of joking around and fun they had, it was amazing, and I just really adored every single thing about this book. Now, of course I cried at this book. I cried a lot actually. I was a goner from that scene in Amsterdam. I knew my tears started welling up my eyes, and it wasn't until that scene in the basement of the church that the tears started falling, and I just couldn't stop them because it was heartbreaking and so emotional, but so beautiful at the same time. Overall, The Fault in Our Stars is one of the most beautiful books I have ever read. It's one of the funniest, the wittiest, and one of the saddest books as well. This book is definitely one of my favourites now, and I just can't believe I waited so long to read it, but I'm glad I finally did, and I gave this book a 5 out of 5 stars. So that was my review for The Fault in Our Stars by John Green. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys later. Bye everyone.